Hi, good morning, or whatever time you're watching. Good day. This is subramani.com. Welcome. This is the place where we make smart people richer. Right? Today I'm going to talk about doctors and why a book itself was necessary for doctors, because I realized that doctors are different and doctors are not very rich the way people think that the whole doctor community is. Of course, they are well off. Of course, they are much better than the average population, but they are not rich the way some industrialists or bankers or film stars are rich. There is no comparison. So I was just wondering, why are doctors not very rich or not rich? So I said, let me go to my book and I'll talk to you more like reading from my book. So let's get into the first thing. Why are doctors not very rich? One, we all know that they start late, right? If you are just going to start your profession, whatever it is, if it's not a very highly education-oriented profession or a training-oriented profession, you can start your profession at 18, right? So, okay, if not 18, you at least start at 21, 22, but that's not true for doctors. Doctors finish their studies, and if you're talking of specialization and the training and all that, they're 31, 32 by the time they actually start earning well. Of course, during their post-graduation, they get a stipend. I'm not talking about that, but afterwards to start earning, they're 31, 32. So one, that. Secondly, it is always easier to spend money than to save money. This is true for everybody in the population, but for doctors it is much worse, because just imagine a doctor going to a car showroom and trying to buy a very low-end car, let's say a Nano or a Maruti 800 or a Zen at best. The minute the salesman knows he's a doctor, he tells him, "Sir, aap to doctor ho." So straight away he pushes him to a Honda City at least, saying you can't buy this. So same is true whether you're buying a shirt, whether you're buying a pant. You're constantly told that you are a doctor, you cannot buy low-end item. That is meant for other people. You are a doctor, so you need to spend more. So spending is easier and doctors are pushed to spend more. The third one is a common problem for all Indians. We are not taught anything about money at any part of our education. This is true even for chartered accountants. They are not taught anything about personal finance. So if you think chartered accountants or lawyers or somebody knows about personal finance, no. They could have taken interest to learn about it. It's a different thing. But the chances of them knowing about how many mutual funds, how much insurance and all that, no, it's not taught to anybody. So whether you're an architect, doctor, lawyer, chartered accountant, doesn't matter. You're not taught anything about finance in school. So you're not taught in college. You're not even given that as an elective subject while doing your MBBS, right? So that is tough. So that is another reason. Fourth, at home we have a very negative bias towards money. Oh, he's rich. Usne kuch kiya hoga, right? We don't talk of money very positively at home. We think money is nothing. Money, paisa cheez kya hai, haath ki mail hai, and all that very, very negatively. We all like all the things that money buys. And I always keep saying money is like salt, right? You cannot do without it. And excess actually hurts us, right? You need to have an amount of salt, but having excess salt in your food doesn't really help you. How? It actually causes more problems. In fact, success creates more problems than failures. So many people are not very happy handling success. They are unable to handle success. Then the profession itself is not a very earning profession. Can you imagine? Because everybody expects the doctor to give up his revenues, right? Recently we saw the highest court in the country saying tests should be conducted free. In an economy where everything is measured in terms of money, how much will a doctor give up? What all will he give up? He gives up his time, he gives up his safety, he's given up his personal life, he has given up, now he has to give up money also. It doesn't work, but then people expect that. So doctors do a lot of charity, if not in terms of check, in terms of time. So that much money, time could have been spent earning money, but that was also spent, and another important reason. Doctors get bad advice, and this is true across all of us, right? Everybody gets very, very poor financial advice. There is a problem. When I go to a hospital, I know who is a nurse, I know who is a ward boy, I know who is a doctor, I know who is a surgeon, right? Because they are named like that, and I know what is each person's role. But in financial services, you meet the lowest end guy and he carries a card saying wealth manager or relationship manager. You have no clue what he does. Remember, his most important task is to get a check. He is a salesman. He does not have enough knowledge about the product that he is selling, but he's got a sales target, so he has to go and get a check from you. Whether he gets a 1,000 rupee check or a 10,000 rupee check or a 1 million rupee check depends on which area you are in practice, for how long period that you're putting the money, right? So you get bad advice and you get biased advice. You will get one bank promoting its own mutual fund. You will get another bank promoting its own mutual fund. They'll tell you it's need-based investing, but largely it is not your need. So you can take a guess as to whose need they are catering to, but it's not your need. The other thing is doctors treat their own profession very well, which means they have a lot of respect for fellow doctors, etc. However, when it comes to investment advice, they don't go to a good professional. They just find somebody who comes and then they ask one very great Indian question, "Isme kitna milega?" Right? No, neither the doctor nor the guy who comes to sell has any clue कि इसमें कितना मिलेगा. But they have a long discussion, and then, or maybe a shortish discussion, and then the doctor signs the form, but the doctor doesn't even know whether that figure is right. So whether a guy says 22% or 12% or 8%, depends on his mood, and or he'll say something like, but that advisor told me इसमें ज़्यादा मिलेगा. And it's a completely senseless, useless conversation leading nowhere, and that's not the conversation to have when you're making an investment. Can doctors get rich? Well, I do not know how you define rich, but doctors can definitely get more wealthy in their thinking, can have more money, and doctors will need to do all this because at some stage they may have to retire or they may want to retire. Any one of these reasons is good enough for the doctor to accumulate some money. Remember, they start at 32 and they have to end at maybe 60, 65. The most important investment a doctor has to make is in his health. Because if you want to practice at 65, if you want to practice at 70, you need to have very good health. If you don't have good health, how are you going to be in practice? How are you going to work 8 hours a day, 7 hours a day? It's not going to be very easy working 8 hours a day at the age of 65, right? So doctors need to look after their health. That is the very, very neglected thing. I see many doctors who neglect. I also see a bunch of doctors who look after their health. It's not that all doctors neglect health. Many doctors neglect health. Many doctors look after their health. So we will take the necessary steps over the next few months. I will do a series of videos which will help you slightly navigate the financial world. It's not very easy, but it's not very difficult either. You like this? Please share it with your friends. Press the bell icon and be ready for more coming your way. Thank you.